good evening. This is your friend Han here, and it is great to see you here tonight. And tonight I'm very excited for two reasons. I'm gonna introduce another awesome SEO product, and not like none others I have introduced before. And secondly, which I'm most excited about to share with you right now, I just got it done over an hour long. The best SEO interview I ever done was Hitesh, who is a partner with Robert Phillips, and which I know many of you already own their product, already on their list anyway. And about this product named Instant Traffic Dominations. But basically what Hitesh did here is he basically did an hour long of awesome also SEO trainings. I know nowadays Google gets changing its mind all the time. If you really want to see what works and what makes sense too after you listen to it, and the way he presented, you will clear all the SEO stuff out and give you not only the best backlinks, but also give you the instant traffic, targeted traffic to your affiliate sites. This is a must listen and watch interview if you own any affiliate sites. If you want to do anything Google related, ranking and traffic, this is the interview you want to hear, because he can literally charge money for what you're gonna hear in the next couple of minutes here. So anyway, this is your friend Han. Please enjoy it, and just keep note that I am feeling down right now. I think I got a flu or something, so I won't able to send the review tomorrow at launching time, but go ahead, purchase this. This is going to be some quality stuff after hearing it. So you can get the bonus we're going to talk about inside the interview as well. I am going to do my full review by Sunday, so looking out for my email. So if you do decide to order tomorrow at launching time so you can grab a lowest possible price, do make sure you send me back, clean your cookies first. Do make sure you send me back your PayPal receipt. So we want to make sure you not only get the bonus from me as always, but also get the exclusive bonus from Hitesh as well. So stay tuned, watch the interview so you know what the bonuses are really cool, add more value to your purchase. So if you do decide to purchase this, this course, it's a course and a software, okay? Just give a little hint there. And make sure you get it from me, because I'm the only one who have those bonuses for you, which is more additional cool stuff, right? You know me, I like to give you stuff. Anyway, just your friend Han, and for now, please enjoy the interview. Until next time, keep smiling, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers! Alright, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your friend Han here, and it is great to see you here again. And today, I happen to get Hitesh online with us today, and he's a definitely well-known SEO guy. He built his a $6 million business based on SEO. So this is someone you really want to pay attention to and take lots of notes and learn tons great SEO tips from him. Also, at the end of this interview, he's going to introduce another great product. He's going to launching tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I highly recommend you guys go check it out and actually go grab it. It's called the Instant Domination, which you can see on his screen right now. Instant Traffic Domination, I'm sorry. So before we get into the exciting interview right now, let's kind of learn how Hitesh got started with internet marketing, but most importantly, what did he exactly do to achieve the level of success he has today. So Hitesh, could you kind of take over the mic and share your unique internet marketing story with us, please?
Sure. Well, it's great to be here, and thanks for having me on here, Han. Now, here's the funny thing. I know that everybody loves like the rags to riches kind of story, but it's not quite like that. That's not quite how it worked out for me. I didn't actually struggle for years and years. Now, I obviously grew up in India, and I obviously, relatively speaking, didn't grow up that great in terms of financial stuff, although my family was awesome and is awesome. The thing is, I actually had my first success within the first month of starting online. Okay, let me explain exactly what happened with that.
Okay.
The very first success I had was actually in 2005. It was a month in to me doing some online stuff, and I'd basically just starting writing articles for pay at the time.
Oh wow.
And the interesting thing that happened is that I actually started looking at why this company was paying me money to write articles for them.
Okay.
And I basically just followed that string along, and I figured out they were doing AdSense advertising at the time,
Okay.
which led me to their AdWords platform. And so my first income online, in a business sense, came from running AdWords campaigns for some natural remedy kind of ebooks for different niches.
Okay.
And I literally had my first, the very first campaign that I ran with Google PPC actually was very, very successful for me. And this is in April, May, June of 2005. Well, what happened is, though, literally a month after I started doing that came the infamous first Google slap. And I don't know how many of the people actually remember that. But what they did is they basically created these new regulations, and almost all of my campaigns that I had in AdWords were no longer valid. So I couldn't actually run the campaigns anymore. And that's when I started looking into doing the same type of traffic generation with search engine optimization. And through all the struggles and all the stuff that we went through, what had happened is I had already tasted that little bit of success. And I think that's the biggest factor. A lot of people give up and don't succeed because they don't see success quickly. So even though it wasn't like I was making millions of dollars, I was really only making about $1,000 to $1,500 a month profit.
That's a lot to newbies, trust me.
Exactly. And that's exactly what it was. Even though the slap came and it shut it down completely, I'd already tasted that, right? So I wasn't going to give up now because I already knew what was possible. So I actually kept doing my article writing, and most people have this like fairy tale idea in their head where they think that, oh, you started doing something well and you started making money and then suddenly just blew up, right? But that's not quite what happened. I actually literally worked 20 to 22 hour days, many days, trying to get this whole thing figured out and trying to understand the whole thing. And there was a graphic that I saw way back, and I'm kind of famous for showing this graphic as much as I can. And this graphic is really what kind of changed things for me. If you understand this, then you're a marketer. If you don't understand this, then you're a consumer. That's basically the fact of the matter. So if you understand what this thing here is, then you understand marketing. And I basically understood this thing after my first few campaigns with Google PPC. Okay, and that's why I was able to succeed over time. So what I did is I understood this thing, and what this is the classic funnel. Okay, we call this the classic sales funnel. And all that's going on over here is you have a page. We call it a landing page. It can be your website, it can be a Squidoo lens, it can be your YouTube video, whatever it is, where you have some content. And you have a certain goal. You want people to come to this page, and then you want those people to do something. Right. It might be to buy something, it might be to click an ad, it might be to opt into your list, any of those things. That's your goal, okay? And all you have to do now is, if you have good content, then they are going to do this, right? If you're bad content, they're not going to do this. It's really that simple. And by content, I just mean the sales angle. I don't mean 500-word articles. It could be like a 10-word statement, but it has to be what these people are looking for. So the missing picture was just the traffic generation. And this is where I believe, truly, majority of the people fail. This part right here is the hardest thing for most people. And this is what happened with me. Right in the beginning, because of how easy PPC was, right in the starting of Google AdWords, I was able to get in on it. And I was able to generate targeted traffic immediately. And that's why I was able to make money immediately.
Now, can I stop you for 1 second right there? Because I do want to kind of throw in one question. Now, I heard, because for whatever the reason, Google doesn't like people from India and does not approve them for whatever weird reason it is. Do you find that that's the case, or
well,
do you have?
First of all, I was in the US.
Okay.
So I grew up in India, but this is my story when I was 18. So I was 18 years old, and I was actually working cleaning university apartments. So in my university, I was actually cleaning apartments at the time, and I would take some of that money to buy some information booklets and stuff, and I basically found this one ebook that I would say is probably the only good ebook I ever purchased. And that ebook basically was a list of different sites that would pay you to write articles for them.
Oh, okay.
And
I understand that now. Okay.
Yep. So what I did is I started writing articles, and I took the money from writing articles and spent it on PPC traffic.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And that's how I basically started building an income. And then of course the slab came, shut it all down.
Right.
But I kept writing articles. So I was still writing articles, and I was actually at one point making between $1,500 to $2,000 a month just from writing articles.
Yeah.
Then my wife and I both started doing it together, and we were making $3,000 to $4,000 a month writing articles. Of course, it's not quite as easy anymore because the whole thing has become a little more complex. But it was good because that whole time I was able to understand this whole thing. I was able to understand why companies would spend money on articles, and they were doing that because they were trying to do this whole thing right here. The sales funnel is what they were trying to do.
Right.
And this traffic part is what I just need to figure out now. I already had excellent content. I've always been good at like sales writing, copywriting, and doing all that stuff. I was just good at that. I understood the whole thing, but I could not figure out how to generate traffic. It was around that time, about 6 months after I had started, there was a software that came out, and Hannah and I were talking earlier, and I told you about this, but there was a software that came out called Traffic Equalizer. Mm-hmm. And that kind of changed everything for me then, because it was literally one of those things where you could slap up a page and you could just say weight loss, and you could rank on page 1 of Google for the keyword weight loss. It was really that easy. Yeah. And of course, Google shut that down pretty quickly. I think it lasted like a month and a half, maybe.
Maybe because of the software.
I know, but that was an awesome month. I can tell you that was an awesome month. It was like $4,000, $5,000 a week coming in, and all you would do is do that. And I'll explain what was going on. So what had happened is basically I had figured out that the main place that I could get a lot of traffic from was either Google or websites that are already ranked in Google. Okay?
Right.
Those are the only two primary places that we're going to get solid targeted traffic at zero cost. Now, obviously, there are other things that we can do for paid traffic, right? So let me just quickly write this down here. So you could, for example, go ahead and run PPC campaigns, solo ad campaigns. You can run contextual ads. You can run CPM ads. You can run your Facebook style ads, you know. You can run all those ads. All of those cost money, and I have nothing against paid advertising. I do a lot of paid advertising as well. But there is a risk with paid advertising. Unless you know that this whole thing is going to convert really well, you cannot spend money on traffic. Okay, you just don't want to. So on the other side, we have free traffic sources. And the free traffic sources are basically search engines and sites getting traffic from different sources. Okay, to give you an example, let's say that there is some site out there that's doing a ton of advertising now, that they're ranked in Google, or they're doing a ton of advertising themselves, they're buying PPC ads and all that stuff, right? I'll give you a couple examples, some famous ones you know of. There's YouTube, there's Amazon, there's eBay, there's a bunch of sites out there that do a lot of advertising, or they're really well liked by the search engines, and they have a lot of traffic on there. And you know that you can siphon a lot of traffic from them. For example, you can siphon traffic from Facebook, you can siphon traffic from YouTube. But it's, you know, not quite as simple as people sometimes try to make it out to be. Right. So the fact of the matter is that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to figure out how I'm going to do this. Get on top of the search engines and get traffic from all the other sites that are ranked in the search engines. Okay? And we are right now talking about niched markets. We're not talking about the make money online industry or anything like that. We're talking about niched keywords. So I'm actually going to give you guys, I'm going to expose like one of the niches that I was in, and I'm going to share like very specifically what happened with it. Okay. So one of the niches that I was in was the natural yeast infection treatment. Okay, natural yeast infection treatment. And this right here should actually give you a huge clue why this niche would do so well. This niche would do so well because majority of the people who are looking for a natural yeast infection treatment don't call up their mom or don't go to their neighbor and say, hey, you know about a good treatment for yeast infection. They all go online, right? Because it's embarrassing to talk about it for them.
It's embarrassing niche.
Exactly. So this niche turned out to be really good for me. I built a website. It was a 3-page website. And so let me write that whole thing down. A 3-page website. I had 3 pages. Symptoms, treatments, and recommended treatment plan with review, not plan with review, which was actually the product that I was promoting, which was a ClickBank ebook. And of course there was privacy policy and other pages on the site as well, but this is really the true content that was on the website. And what I started doing is I would go and find all the other websites that Google considered to be high authority or high relevance or all those things in the search engines for these keywords that I wanted to rank for. I wanted to rank for natural yeast infection treatment, natural yeast infection cure, and so on and so forth. So that's what I did. I found other sites that basically were ranked at the time for those keywords. And that's the whole game right there. What I was doing is I was really using Google's own results against them. So how do we know what particular site Google ranks well, or how do we know that there's a site where if we get a link from, Google is going to like that link, right? This is the whole game recently. Every single day probably there's a new product launched, right? And the new product talks about, hey, we're going to show you the secret way that you can rank online and make all this money, right?
Right.
That's what they all say. And they all say, hey, I'm going to show you what my secret traffic and secret link source is.
Right.
Now, the problem is everybody can give you a theory on why they believe a certain type of link is good. So people come out, they say, yeah, the blog network links are really good, or blog commenting links are really good, or social media based links are good, or blah, blah, blah. The problem is they're all theories, and they are theories that apply to a certain niche, but they don't apply across the board. So when you went into the yeast infection niche, the type of sites that Google ranked in that are totally different from the type of sites that Google ranks in, let's say, education or sports niches, okay? So actually, literally, the pattern or the style of linking that is good in one niche can be horrible in another niche. And that's what we are trying to avoid now. What we're trying to say is, hey, we know that the same linking pattern can get me the top ranking in one niche and get me completely blacklisted in another. So we are going to basically use Google's own results against it. So we came out with a bunch of different ideas on different ways to search our platforms that allow you to get links. So there's different type of platforms that allow you to get links. So here's what's going on right now. This is our end goal, right? This is the whole thing we want to do. So we have basically broken down getting traffic into free and paid, and we have broken down free into basically search engines and sites getting traffic from different sources. So we're going to target search engines, specifically Google, and let's break down that part. And that part is basically getting some nice links. And that's honestly what it boils down to. Everybody's going to come and throw some silly thing at you about, yeah, you can do this with social media and you'll be ranked here, ranked there. It's honestly, most of that is nonsense. Most of that is people who have never ranked a website themselves trying to teach you stuff. The fact of the matter is it boils down to the right type of niche specific linking. And if you have that, you have an awesome foundation and you will have long-term success and long-term site rankings, which I still have. I mean, I have sites that have been ranked for 4 years. I've never been slapped. Never have those been taken down. Never suffered from Panda and Penguin in the same way that most of the people have. And the reason for that is very simple. From the very beginning, I've built websites with very niche specific linking patterns, which don't have the bad effect on them because I'm not doing any of the things that most other people are doing. I'm not building curated content sites. I'm not building automated websites entirely or anything like that. I'm literally just spending my time building a 3-page website, building a really solid linking foundation, and moving on from there. And here's a beautiful thing. You don't need thousands of links. You can do this with like 30 links and have awesome results depending on what keywords that you're going after.
So in your opinion, I know we talked a little bit about this before the interview. What are the two major factors to rank any sites?
Okay, well, there's really two ways. I'm going to break this down into two major categories. What Google is actually looking for. And everybody's heard these terms, but very few people explain these terms. Okay, so we call it relevance and authority. And everybody's heard of this, right? You've probably seen 15 products launched this year about how to get authority backlinks, right? What is authority and what is relevance? First of all, understand that Google's purpose or any website's purpose, any search engine's purpose is to show you the most relevant results for your chosen keyword. So if you go in and you search for best kitchen appliance, then Google is going to go out and it's going to look through their database and try and figure out which particular page matches up with best kitchen appliance the best. Okay. Now the problem with that is that although that's a good match, it's very easy to game that, which is what Traffic Equalizer used to do, right? You could make a page and stuff it with this keyword or whatever and try and game it. So Google over time has been refining how they calculate relevance while putting in filters to prevent people from being able to game that. And that's where the whole concept of authority comes in. Authority is basically Google's way of saying which site is trustable and which site is not. Okay, so this is really a trust factor overall. And I mean, we even use that in our normal things, right? Like you go to somebody and say, I have it on good authority that so-and-so was stealing something, right? That just basically means that you have it on good trusted, you have good, reliable, trustable information. So Google looks at some sites and it says, given their immense popularity, the huge amount of data they have and the content they have and the links they have and all that and the traffic they have, these sites are more trustable than others. So YouTube is one of them, Amazon is another one of them, Wikipedia is another one. There's literally thousands of sites that Google considers to be authority websites. And it's not just really major sites like that. Google has certain sites that it considers to be authorities in certain niches, okay? So what we're going to be trying to do is we don't want to build an authority website, okay? And I'll tell you that honestly right now. Somebody might come to you and say, hey, you guys, you got to build an authority website to get all this money. That's nonsense. Majority of the people will never ever be able to successfully build an authority website. Authority websites are rare. They're very unique. That is why they have the factors that they do. It means by the very definition of an authority website, most people will never get one, okay? So it's a waste of time to try and become an authority website. So what we try and do is we become extremely relevant and we basically kind of sort of abuse the trust factor of other sites. And I use the word abuse, but I don't really mean it in a bad way. I mean in a way that we're basically using that for our own purposes of other sites. So what we're going to do is we're going to go first to Google itself and we're going to ask them, hey, for natural yeast infection treatment, what are the most relevant websites? Okay, and Google is going to show us those results. Then we're going to say, by the way, out of these ones that you consider to be good, relevant websites, which are the ones which have the high authority? And they'll show us those. And then we put another filter on. So we say, which ones have the highest relevance, plus have the highest authority, plus allow outbound linking, so that we can actually benefit from this. So there's tons of those, right? There's different ones out there. There's wiki links, there's media links, there's news sites, there's guest blogging, and there's obviously commenting, right? There's all of those different things there.
Now, I got a one quick question while we end this. Now, once you find those sites allow outbound links, is this something you recommend to manually go there, either yourself or hire a VA, build backlink to your site, or is there some automation tools that does or both?
Well, we actually have an automation tool that actually finds all of these links and finds all of these different places where you can get those links from.
Right. And my question is, how do you create the link, manually or automationally, or both?
And you can do it manually, okay, or you can hire somebody to do it. I have tested a lot of automation tools for it. And overall what I found is if you do this right, you only need 20-30 of these type of links to do really well.
Ah, okay.
So you don't actually need to spend hours and hours, and that's the big difference between the strategy. That's why I think I've never been slapped like the same way, because I'm not trying to get bulk amount of links. I'm not trying to get 15,000 links by spamming.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm instead saying I only need 20 of these links, and here's why I just need 20 of them. I'm already one of the most relevant websites because of the way I build my site, and we'll cover that in a second. The way I build my site is already the most relevant site. Now I just need to jack up enough authority from all these other places that Google already considers good, that I should be doing just fine. So basically all these other sites are already doing the hard work, right? All these other websites that are like, that's the top 50 websites in Google for your keyword, have already done the hard work. Why would you go out and try and compete with them by doing the same thing they are? Instead, just try and, in a way, hijack this trust from those websites for your own website. And that's what works so beautifully and so easily. So this is why you don't need to spend a ton of time on it either.
Right. So when you're looking at sites have outbound links, do you look at number of outbound links, or do you look at is it follow or do follow, or it doesn't really matter as long as it's real?
Well, it does matter. It does matter. First of all, no matter what anybody says, there is a big difference between getting do follow links and not getting those. But let me explain what we're looking for here.
Okay.
We don't worry about outbound links quite as much. Obviously, if there are like spam pages which have 5,000 links going out to Viagra sites or something, we don't want to be on there. But remember the reason we are doing this. We are doing this because we want to basically share in some of the authority. We want to get some of the authority to ourselves. So we are only going to be targeting sites that either have a high PR, which is in some ways a measure of authority, or have high traffic, which is another way of measure of authority, or sites that have a lot of participation going on. Basically, they're very recent or they're very active. So the way we look for these things is we look at all those factors, and that's why, like I said, we are going with extremely, extremely high quality links. So we only need 20 to 30 of them. Okay? And those are the things that we're looking for, because those are the things that that bring in that authority for us.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So that's basically what we're doing. When
I
we
think
do that properly,
when you're doing like this one throughout in there, you actually get a side benefit. That is, you actually generate traffic from those relevant sites to your site.
exactly.
Well,
And actually, that's the beautiful thing here. What I found doing this strategy is that even if I wasn't being ranked right away, I would eventually get a high ranking. I was already getting traffic, and I was getting really solid traffic.
yeah,
So
relevant traffic because it's from
Exactly.
the site. So
yeah, there you go. So this is what was going on. So this yeast infection treatment site, when I started doing this, before it was ever ranked, I was already getting 10, 20, 30, 40 visitors a day over time just from referral traffic. And even after I got ranked, now obviously this is not a high traffic keyword, but it's a very, very buyer oriented keyword. So even after I got ranked, 30% of my traffic was still coming from these referral sites. It was still coming from all these referral sources. And basically the site was making me about $600 to $900 a month, depending on the month. And 5 months later, I sold the website for $7,000.
oh wow.
It was an awesome experience, right? Because again, this is one of those things that most people are like, I wish I had kind of a blueprint on how somebody else did it. So this is like, I'm basically telling everyone, this is exactly how I did it. I found a keyword that I knew made money, and I'll tell you how we found that the keyword made money.
Yeah.
And then I basically built a website, made it very relevant, right? I just covered the symptoms treatment and the recommended treatment plan. And this is a very important thing here. A lot of people have been lied to recently a lot about how much content you need on your website, right? A lot of people are like, well, I need 24 1,000 word articles so my website doesn't get sandboxed. Well, who said that? That's total baloney. Think about it in one way. If somebody is looking for a natural yeast infection treatment and they land on they land on a site, do you think they are looking to read through 24,000 words to be able to figure out what they want, or are they looking for just maybe a page worth of information?
The shorter the better.
Exactly. And so that's really what's going on here. You just have to make sure that you build very tightly relevant websites, and that's all that it takes. So again, I'm speaking from experience. I have 300 websites currently out there, so I can tell you exactly what's going on. This is not theory.
How do you even manage like three?
And here's the thing. That's my point. I don't manage them. If I was actually managing 300 websites, I would go crazy, right? But I don't manage them. I just built them out. I did this, had very relevant niche specific links going on, and I was done. I'll give you guys an example of this. And this is something that I've taught before. It has beautiful results. So a lot of people, you can go out, you can go to Fiverr or something, and you can buy like 15,000 backlinks, right, for $5.
Oh yeah.
And here's how I use them. And I'm telling you, this is actually effective, but here's a way to use them. What you do is, so there's your website, right? There's your site.
You might want to scroll down a little bit, start that section.
Okay, let's start.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
So here's our site. And then what I'll do is, if I can't find a whole lot of these links coming in, I'll basically go create them for myself, right? So here's an example. So I'll go in and I'll create a Squidoo lens. Okay, and there was a time when hub pages was easier, so I would do hub pages at the time as well. But you could do a YouTube video, and you could even post a comment on some news site. Okay, let's say that you go to Drudge Report and there is some site that they have linked to, okay, like Huffington Post or whatever. I don't actually visit Huffington Post, but I'll give you an example. So let's say there's Huffington Post, and there's all these news sites coming out there, right? What I'll do is, if I get a link from there by posting a comment, if I make a video and post it on YouTube and get a link in, and if I get a Squidoo lens up and put a link to my site, then I'll go to Fiverr, I'll buy 15,000 backlinks to the Squidoo.
Okay.
And that's basically trash linking, but that's your, we call it the second tier link. Okay?
Right.
So this second tier linking doesn't actually hurt my site, but this Squidoo lens serves like a filter, and it ends up passing all this authority to me, but it doesn't pass any of the ill effects of having all these negative keywords coming in, negative backlinks coming in. It's a simple little strategy. A lot of people do this. But the reality is, what we're trying to figure out is, why does it work? The reason it works is that you are now combining your site's relevance with the authority from Squidoo, authority from YouTube, and authority from Huffington Post. And that's why now your site is going to rank much better than most others. And that's why I can build a site today, go out, and I can rank it above um, Amazon. I can rank it above YouTube. I can rank it above pretty much anything that I want. In fact, I actually think I have somewhere in here. I had like some of my. Let me see if I can find ITD rankings there. Let's see. Okay, so these are actually some of the rankings right here. And so you can see there's Amazon there, C is there, YouTube there, and I'm up there. And this is actually for a very, very strong buyer keyword. It's a $400 to $900 product.
Oh, wow.
And this is people who are typing in specifically the model name and saying they want to buy it. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, we ranked for that. Here's one with 410 million competing pages, number 3 for that. Here's another one with 7.8 million competing pages. I'm right here on page 1 for that. So this works really, really well. But I want to kind of be clear about something here. The ranking almost comes by accident. Okay, I mean, when you start doing this, you don't even think that you're doing this from the intention of trying to get your top rankings. You can do this for pretty much any page just to get the traffic in, which is the whole point. Because if you're getting traffic in, then this whole thing works out. So I've actually done this for a squeeze page. Okay, so I did this for a squeeze page. I'll actually show you guys what exactly the squeeze page is. This is the actual squeeze page. It's just a different URL because there's a tracker on it. But this is the actual squeeze page that I did this exact strategy with. And I've added over 3,000 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
Just following the strategy, just with this one funnel. Okay, now who knows how much money I've made from those 3,000 subscribers over time? But my point is that this stuff works. You're getting traffic, and this is the whole game. If you have this thing figured out, you have pretty much everything done.
So what you essentially just did there, you basically just hijacked the traffic from the very popular authority sites, all right, for that squeeze page.
Right, and that's basically all I did. I'll actually give you guys 2 examples, and these are like 2 very nice niches as well. So there's a survival gear niche, okay? Survival gear niche is awesome. Awesome niche. People buy a ton of stuff in that. People who buy a lot of stuff usually have a lot of money, and so they're going to spend a lot of money. And what I would do is I would go and search out all of the recent news stories or all of the recent pages that were published that were in high authority and they were already ranked on Google. So that's one of the key factors, right? We're looking for pages that are already ranked in Google. So we know that Google values them. And those sites which were related to the survival stories or the coming end or the economic meltdown and stuff like that, I would go there and I would leave comments, and the name basically said cheapest survival gear. That was it. That basically is all I did. And I would get tons of people landing on the site, tons of people purchasing stuff, and obviously all I was doing was I had a site that basically had Amazon products listed on it. That was it. And so I would make sales across those.
Now, let me ask you one additional question since we're talking about Opium page. Do you found a simple page like that work better than those fancy graphic ones?
99% of the time. 99% of the time, this is better.
Simple is better.
Simple is way better. And there are fancy things that you can do. Okay. There are fancy pages that do convert really well too. But the key is to keep it really simple.
Okay.
You have to keep it really simple. A lot of the times what I've noticed is people are trying to like put out really fancy pages to kind of make the person on the page go, ooh, what's this? This is nice, right? But that's not what we want. What we want is somebody to read this, put their information in and go ahead. And that's the point of this over here. It's the same thing that I said over here. Nobody wants to read 50,000 words of information about yeast. Okay. They just want to get the information and get on their way and buy it. Or they just want to opt in and go through your course or whatever. That's basically what they're after.
Now, can we switch back to that squeeze page very quick? Kind of one, and can you kind of went down some kind of elements here that help people actually want to opt in here? I noticed like get one out of job now. Not many people does that. The button. What is the reason you do like that, or is it does it?
I will tell you why, and I will tell you this very honestly.
Okay.
I don't believe in theories at all. I just believe in putting up pages and letting them test themselves. This thing converted at 56%. I didn't see any reason to change anything. Right?
Okay.
If you put up a page and it converts really well, you don't really want to change a whole lot of stuff in there.
Okay.
And that's 56% over a long period of time. if I did it, like when I would do like a solo ad or something, it was getting like 65%. So it didn't make any sense to change anything. But here are the simple elements when I made the page. What it is obviously starts out free, which is disarming. It tells people there is nothing at risk here. Okay. And then there are the very simple factors, which is this is easy, right? So ridiculously simple. It's very profitable, crazy profits, and it's very quick. Next up. Okay. That's all it is. Those are your three factors right there. If something is easy, it's profitable, and it's going to be very quick, it's instant gratification for people, and people will go for it.
Okay. All right. I just want to kind of, I think by kind of tell people that would help a lot of people to understand how to build up.
There you go. But see, that's what I do on my sites too, and I actually will like discuss some of that a bit more. But yeah, that's basically what this is right here. You tell people, hey, this is how you know you have it. This is how you treat it. Go ahead and buy it.
Okay.
That's it. It's very simple. Now, let me explain how I actually ended up selecting this keyword, right? Mm-hmm. This is the other thing that a lot of people, there's a lot of softwares out there that sell thousands and thousands of keyword research tools, right? There's so many keyword research tools. Here's how I do a lot of my keyword research. I use a very unique tool. Actually, I don't believe anybody else has it right now. It's called my brain. And, it's not that hard to think of keywords that make sense, right? You can imagine somebody typing in natural research, and that's really as simple as that is. But I did want to confirm profitability on this. So there's a very simple method. What you do is you go to places where sites are being sold. Okay, so you go to like sites like Flippa. Okay, and I actually cover this in a lot more detail within the course itself. But you go to Flippa and you find websites that are currently selling, and they're making most of their profits from either search engine traffic or PPC traffic and things like that. And the best ones to go after are the ones who are running PPC campaigns. Okay, I'll explain why that is. So you go and you find those sites, you basically reverse engineer them, and you figure out which keywords are the most profitable, which keywords are making them the most money. Okay? And now you've skipped past all of the nonsense. You don't need to figure out how competitive it is. You don't need to figure out how much traffic it has. You don't need to figure out any of that stuff. All you need to know is this is a profitable keyword, right? You just saw that so-and-so website is making $300 a month from this keyword, $5,000 a month from this keyword. Mm-hmm. So you skip past everything else. You say, okay, I already know what I need to do. I already have my keyword. I know how to build a really relevant website. And if you don't, we'll sort you out on that. And then all I got to do is just get these really high authority links or really high relevant links from other sites, and I'll be ranking for it. And I have honestly yet to come across a single website that I have failed at ranking on page 1 because of the strategy.
Now, typically with this strategy, I know it varies from keyword to keywords. What would you say, how long will it take? I know that's going to be some.
I've seen it anywhere from a day to 3 days to as much as 3 weeks.
Okay.
And it does depend on the keyword, but here is the key thing. If you are selecting keywords that are really profitable, right, which are profitable because it's a profitable keyword, not profitable because there's a lot of traffic on it. Everybody knows weight loss has a ton of traffic on it, but it's a useless keyword.
That's right. It's an informational keyword.
Exactly. So what you need is you go for buyer keywords. So when I showed you guys this over here, you see how there are like very few competing pages compared to the other two, right? This is a very unique case. This one right here is a very strong buyer keyword as well. This is actually literally somebody typing in buy blank parts. That's what this keyword is right here. Okay, somebody's looking for those type of parts, and so this is kind of a case where we have it ranked, and this one took about 2.5 weeks to actually move into page 1.
Now, once you get on the fairly high position, do you have to continuously find more relevant links to?
No, not at all. And that's the really awesome part about this. Okay? Because what you're doing is you're leveraging all the other sites that are already ranked. So here, let me make some more space. So here's what you're doing. So here's Google, right? Here is Google. And on Google's page 1, that's a very ugly Google, but that serves that purpose. You have all these. I'm going to draw 5 of these out, each representing each page. Okay, so this is page 1, 2,
now
3.
Now you look like a spider.
Yes, and I actually did that on purpose because I'm about to connect all this, and I'm going to be like, you're creating a web of backlinks. See, there you go. So this is the Google spider right here of 5 pages. And these 5 pages represent the first 50 results in Google for any particular keyword. Okay, and that's the key thing here, for any particular keyword, not just top 5 results out of nothing. So what we're going to do is we are going to find and basically leverage all the results in this top 50 results. So out of these top 50, let's say that we have 14 pages which have authority, which are ranked here for our keyword, and that also allow us to do some form of linking out from them. Okay? So now we have 14 link sources. And I'm just going to put it X 14. So we have 14 different linking sources here. This is the beautiful part now. So here's our simple little website, and we are basically now benefiting from 14 other sources that Google considers relevant for the keyword we want to rank for. Now here's why this is so stable. What are all these other sites doing? What do you think these 14 sites are doing?
Getting more links.
They are spending all their time maintaining themselves in the rankings.
Right.
We are not going to bother with that because whatever work they're doing, we're already benefiting from that anyway.
Got it.
So we don't need to bother with it at all. I literally have websites that I have not touched in years.
Now, how did you figure all this out?
I think I'm just smart.
That's right.
No, I'm kidding. I think it's just over time. See, the thing is, I have a family. I have 3 little kids, 3 little boys, very manly of me. I just produce boys, I guess. And so, and
the Y chromosome or something or whatever.
and my wife had some health issues as well. So, it's kind of one of those things where when you have the motivation to really push yourself and figure stuff out, you just do it. So over time, I've been able to figure a lot of this stuff out. And the other reason that I've been able to figure a lot of these things out is because I'm not a big follower. I don't like to go out and read a whole lot about what other people are doing, because most people who share their results, they share results from their 1 or 2 experiments. And like I said, I have 300 of my own sites. And then if you add in like basically every site that I've ever ranked or worked with, or client sites and stuff, I've probably worked with over 1,000 sites. So I have a huge range of websites and a lot of data that I can pull from, and I can figure out what's going on. But most of the people don't have that. Most people have 5, 6, 10 sites, and they base their conclusions on those. And the funny thing is, most of them have sites in the same niche, right? Because they're kind of involved in 1 or 2 niches, so they kind of are in those 1 or 2 niches. I'm involved in like 20, 30 different niches. So I get to see a lot of what's going on, and that's one of the things that I really figured out, that you really can't say that Google has a fixed algorithm, because the type of results that you will see for certain keywords, it'll blow you away, because you'll be like, I can't believe that Google is allowing so-and-so page to be ranked. You can find pages that have 0 content. You can find pages that are literally just made for AdSense websites still. You can find pages that are nothing but a squeeze page. You can find pages that have an iframe redirect built into them. You can find all sorts of those pages for certain keywords. So there is no really across-the-board law on what type of a site will rank in Google. It all comes down to niche specificity. I like saying specificity.
Because at the end of the day, Google is in the business to deliver the best results. Only 1 click or less than 1 click away from the best results.
Exactly.
So if you can deliver extremely relevant content, and then you're automatically up there.
Well, some of what you're saying is true, and some of what you're saying is kind of cliched. Let me explain why. Okay. And what you just said is, if you have really relevant content, then you will rank really high. How do you know your content is really relevant? How does Google know your content is really relevant?
That's a good question.
That's my whole point here. What we've been doing is, everybody keeps coming out with their own idea of what relevant content means. They'll give you everything from, this is the keyword density you should have, 4% must be this, or 1% must be this, to your tags must look like this, to your title must have this, blah, blah, blah. Everybody has those theories. Here is my tested model, factual basis, and a very logical analysis of the situation. I believe Google knows that you are the most relevant site for a certain keyword when your content matches up to those keywords, and multiple different other sources that Google considers relevant point to you as being relevant for that same keyword. That's exactly why this strategy works. We already know that Google considers these 14 sources very relevant for this keyword. That's why we're going to go and piggyback off these 14 sources. Let me give you a political analysis, political analogy. That'll make a little more sense. If you want to figure out, let's say that there are two people running for the mayor or for the president or whatever, you want to figure out which one is conservative and which one is liberal. Okay? If you want to figure that out, who do you go to? You go to, let's say, 5 people that you consider conservative, and you say, hey, which one out of these two do you think is conservative?
Right.
And if they say that this guy is conservative, you're going to say, okay, in all likelihood, let's say you know nothing about the two people, right? You know nothing. You don't even know their name. But you're going to say, well, based on these other people, these 5 people that I consider conservative, if they say this guy's conservative, odds are that he's conservative. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So Google is actually looking at a site, and they're saying, well, if these 14 sites that we consider relevant for yeast infection think that this is relevant for natural yeast infection treatment, it's probably relevant for natural yeast infection treatment. Why don't we send our Google bot out, our little Google spider, right? Why don't we spider the website and see what's going on? And then that's what they do. When they look at that, that's what they find. They find that our on-site optimization, which is where our relevance is determined, matches up with our off-site profile, which is our links coming in, which matches up with our anchor text rotation and anchor text relevance and all that stuff, which is just complicating the process really. When they see that all of that matches up, they go ahead and rank you for it. And this is also why the whole social media thing is nonsense. Because nobody goes out and shares on their Facebook, hey, I just treated my yeast infection with this treatment. Right? Which means there are niches in which you cannot go out and create a social presence.
Unless it's a fake profile.
Exactly, but then Google knows that too. And that's the thing. It boggles my mind that people will buy stuff, and people are so easily, they're so easily sold on some of these ideas. Like, well, Google cares about your social media profile, so if you install our plugin, which is going to let you get 15 extra shares, then you will be able to rank better. And I'm like, hold on a second, nobody's going to share that they just treated yeast infection or they have a yeast infection. What are you going to do? Tell people, hey, like us on Facebook and then we'll show you the treatment for your yeast infection? Nobody's going to do that. So it's just, some of the silly stuff. So that's basically what it comes down. It's really that simple. You ask Google, hey, what do you consider relevant? Google tells you what they consider relevant. Then we go out, we mine that data, and we basically use Google's own results against it. And we start using those to rank for the keywords that we already know are profitable, because again, we did the same thing. We went out and we found sites that were already making money. And that's one of the examples. I mean, there are other methods as well, and I covered those other methods within instant traffic domination. But the point is that we first determine that a keyword is worth going after. And we don't want to play the guessing game. Everybody plays the guessing game. Everybody wants you to play the guessing game, because the longer you play the guessing game, the more products you will keep buying from them, right? My aim isn't to make you buy a bunch of products. My aim is that you go in, you build a bunch of sites, and you start making a lot of money. And then I come to all of you and I say, hey, by the way, I'm involved in this and this niche. Why don't you become an affiliate for that? Because I know that now these people can drive traffic. So my game plan as a vendor is very different from the standard vendor. The standard WSO vendor is trying to sell you products, and then they hope that you'll keep buying products from them. My game plan is I want to make you very successful, so you become really successful people who work with me on my other projects. Not just buying products from me. So
you might want to enlarge this in case.
Yes.
Small fun to see. There you go. I'd love to kind of let you talk some more, but we already 45 minutes into
out of time.
So let's talk about this product you're gonna launch tomorrow. Let's talk about what time it's gonna be, what's the name of it, and what exactly are they getting from the front end, and how much it's gonna be.
Okay, well, let me explain. The product is obviously called Instant Traffic Domination, and what Instant Traffic Domination is, and we also call it the ITD machines, okay, because they're Instant Traffic Domination machines, because you build these little things and they're going to just keep working themselves, and they're going to maintain their relevance, they're going to maintain their ranking all by themselves, they're going to maintain their traffic all by themselves. Here's basically the members area that you can see right now. What we have is you have the main course, which is actually going to walk you through, first of all of our methods to finding these profitable keywords. We're going to cover that, and I'm going to keep writing this down in here so everybody can actually follow along and see what it is. So finding the keywords, building your sites or pages. You don't just have to build sites. If you don't want to, you don't have to. On-site optimization entirely. and then we go into backlinking, the niche-specific backlinking that I just showed you. And we actually give you some of the different codes and commands that you can go into Google and you can use them and find some of these things yourself if you want it as well. Okay. Plus we call them the secret codes. Of course, they're not secret, but they are secret because you don't know them. So the secret codes that allow you to find the sites that you can, we'll call it borrow instead of saying steal, that you can borrow authority from. You get that, and then of course you also get our software. The software actually will do this on autopilot for you. So the software will, you'll basically tell the software, let's say that you tell the software that I want to be in the let's move from yeast infection to something else that's embarrassing. What thing else is embarrassing? Let's say mold removal. Okay. You want to say that this is what you want to go after. This is your niche. The software will go out. It'll find all of the most relevant places from 20 different platforms, from news websites, from guest blogging, from wiki sites, from media sites. You'll find all of those different sources where you can get those from, and you only need 20 or 30 of those links at most in most niches, and it'll arrange them all by their traffic, by their PR, and all of those things. So basically what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to cherry pick the specific link sources that are going to give you instant traffic. And the fastest result we had was we posted, we basically got a link back from a guest blogging place, and within 74 seconds we had our first visitor from that site. So
Oh wow.
it can be really fast in certain niches if you have the right places, and in some cases it might take you, over the first course of your first day, you'll start getting traffic in. So it works really, really well, and the idea for that is basically instant traffic plus the backlinks for long-term ranking as well. Okay, so this whole thing works out together like that, and this is all included as part of the front end itself. Now you have two options on the front end. You can buy the whole course, which is going to be on a dime sale tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. So the faster you go with it, the better price you get. And it's going to be capped at basically $9. It's going to start at $9. It's going to be capped at $12.
Okay.
And if you go with the option that includes the software and it includes some additional training as well, then you basically can go for the pro option, which is $17. Okay, which is extremely, extremely cheap. Like I said, my aim is more to make this available to as many people as possible so they can start doing really well. And when they start doing really well, I really want to work with people on long-term projects, because one of my concepts is you can launch products in other industries instead of just on the WSO type of stuff. You can launch other industry products, and then I have this army of affiliates who actually know how to rank and make money and drive traffic, that they can just start promoting the stuff that you put out. So that's basically my game plan. And see, I'm very transparent about this stuff. I like being able to be transparent and tell people, hey, I want you to succeed because I really want to use your success eventually for other things. Kind of evil and villain-like, but at the same time, it's kind of nice for people to know that that's what I'm doing. And then you also get a live, I want to say 1 hour, but it usually ends up being 2 or 3 hours. So you get a live training webinar with me as well. And in the training webinar, it's live Q&A, more case studies, and all that beautiful stuff. So you will get that as well. And of course, you have over-the-shoulder video training as well. And you also have case studies. So all of this is actually included in the pro option that I just talked about. So that is more content and more training and more software and more awesomeness than most products have across the whole funnel.
Right. So let me kind of and before we go into the OTO here, let me just kind of put you on hot seat a little bit. So yes, this course sounds like awesome. You got an awesome value in here, obviously. So how is this course different than any other, let's say, SEO related course, a niche finding kind of course, affiliate kind of course? Why should people buy this?
Well, there's actually quite a few reasons. The first reason that people should probably buy this is because it's based on actual data.
Okay.
This is not my theory is, look at how I ranked one site. No, this is actually actual data, but it's more than just data. What we did is we actually gave this whole thingamajig, we gave them this whole training. We handed it to a few of our students already. Okay. And we have been actually doing this for almost 3 months now.
Okay.
And we had basically people posting their results, and these case studies are actually going to be on our sales page, so everybody can go and see those case studies. And basically we have had users starting to make their first income online pretty much their first week. And we had a guy, for example, in June, he made $450 in net commissions from Amazon. So he basically sold like about $10,000 worth of product, just using this. That's just one example, and that's from one website that he followed this process on. We really push Amazon a lot as well, so we actually will show you the whole thing on how to do this with Amazon or how to do this with other things. So it's based on data. We know they actually tested. This is not just some theoretical plugin that we're trying to we know that it works, but on top of that, here's a very unique thing about it. You're actually getting to work with somebody who has done this for a long period of time. And I don't know of a whole lot of people who have done this for a long period of time. There's only 2 or 3 other people out there that I know of who actually do SEO at the same level that I do, or actually do traffic generation at the same level that I do, and are also willing to share from their time and go over the stuff. And the final thing is, honestly, people will want to do this because it works. Why would you want to do something that works, right?
Okay.
And you're free to add more reasons. I'm sure you're better at selling than I am, so you give them more reasons for this.
Well, first of all, I know Hitesh has been working for SEO for a long time now, and I know a very large number of you already know him. I mean, if you ever been to his webinar, you know this guy is talking all the stuff he's really doing, which is very rare in the warrior form sphere. And his partner Robert Phillips is about the same thing too. So they're all about delivering values. So
and we're funny. Yeah. And we're funny too.
Yeah, funny too.
Sorry,
right?
God. Sorry.
and funny dudes. So they really care about delivering value and really get you the results. That's what the bottom line is delivering results. So and with that note, let's kind of jump into the OTO very quick here.
Yes, sure. And actually, I'm really happy about these OTOs because they are actually stuff that people will want to use. So the first OTO is called the immediate income formula, and here's what it is. It's basically 2 methods that you can use with if you bought this. If you have the Instant Traffic Domination system, there's 2 methods that you can use to basically make money in as little as 24 hours. Okay, and again, most people don't have stuff like that, but most people haven't done it. So you can actually take the stuff that we actually taught you, and then we have a whole twist on it, and you can go out, you can generate your first income with it. And by saying your first income, I don't mean some commission in your ClickBank account which is going to take 2 months to get to you. I'm saying in your PayPal account, for example,
okay,
or in your bank account within 24 hours to 48 hours. Now obviously that's as little as it might take. In some, it can take you as much as your first week, for example. But I will give you the specific examples. I've had a person make $1,100 in their first week just by doing the stuff that we show in the immediate income formula. So in the immediate income, this is basically 24-hour cash ID concepts. So these are basically things that we have done. I shouldn't really say concepts, tested methods. These are really things that we have already done and we still do. And actually, here's a very interesting thing. The one method that I teach in here is very, very successful. I recently got very jealous in a good way. Okay, I basically had one of my subscribers write in, and he was like, I'm making $1,800 a month, just doing one of your methods, just doing this one method. And so I'm basically actually hiring a couple people to do this method for me full time, because it's just that effective. It's just that good. So that's one thing that we're doing. And then we're also doing the second method is the one that Faraz has used a lot, and Faraz has generated a few $1,000s a month with that as well. And we actually have a lot of our screenshots for it. We actually have all the proof and stuff that we can show you as well. But Faraz, who is our partner on this, he's the one who created the software. He has already been using the second method for a long time. So there's 2 methods in here that work really well to generate income in as little as 24 hours.
Now, so what would you say, who should be really benefit from getting the OTO?
Anybody who likes money.
Okay.
So if you want money,
Very
you want to get it. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, look, it could be, your situation could be that you have some upcoming bills, right? And you need the money to pay those bills. This could be great for you for that. We actually had a person just like that. So the guy I mentioned who's making $1,800 now, his name is Jeff, and he started doing this method sometime in 2012, right towards the end of 2012. I think it was October or November. And he was literally broke. He was literally broke, and he started doing this because he was trying to avoid being evicted out of his apartment. And he basically used this, made the money, avoided being evicted, and he is still, since then, he has grown into $1,800 a month. And that's just one thing that he's doing with the stuff that I show in here. So if you like money, you will want this one.
Okay.
And then the second OTO is basically the hands-free income. And what this is our internal list of all of the outsourcers we use. It's the list of all of the different places that you can actually go and use. We show you the specific people that you can outsource all of these things to. So for example, we actually give you the developer license of the software, and we give you some link packets. I'll explain what those are. What we have done with link packets are basically pre-done research. So we went into multiple niches, and we said, okay, here are some of the popular niches out there, and we put together lists of different places where you can get those links from. So you don't even have to open the software, and we give those to you. And then we show you whom to outsource to, and these people will go out there, and for basically a few cents, okay, not even a few dollars, but for a few cents a piece, you can just hand them the software, or you can hand them, because you can give them the developer license, you can hand them the software, or you can hand them these link packets and tell them to go build links to your site. And we give you the whole thing, so you can basically outsource everything in this one. And it's very, very cost effective, and it's very cheap. And you can actually provide this as a service to other people if you want it as well. So there's actually 2 people that I know of, there might be more, but there's 2 people I know of who actually started doing this exact thing after we shared this with them. They went out there and they actually started doing this link packet sales. They do link packet sales, and they do actually the sales of the service itself. And they are generating between $3,000 and $4,000 a month just by doing that. So this is a whole other business opportunity in itself that you can start going into if you would like. But on top of that, this is great for tested outsourcers, plus link packets, plus developer license.
All right. So how long are you going to keep this offer open?
Right now, our plan is to keep it open for 7 days.
7 days, okay.
Yes, and if we do leave it open any longer than that, it would be in very rare circumstances. But I do not want to promise that it could not be open for longer. But right now, the plan is 7 days in, we're going to close it down. Okay. And because we actually, there is a thing about, it's not that this is a method that will be diluted. Okay, this is not something that can be diluted or something like that. Mm-hmm. But we kind of like to work with groups of people at a time.
Right.
So my aim, like I explained, is my aim isn't to make $50,000 selling WSOs every month. Mm-hmm. My aim is to, yes, I make some money like that, but my aim is to take all those people and then make them successful and have a long-term thing going on at the same time. So I have subscribers who have been on my list for 3 years, 4 years, really long time, and they are really successful. And one of the reasons that they like being on my list is every few weeks I'll come out and I'll say, okay, look, here's a niche, here's an affiliate program, I've tested this, and it might have a second tier to it or something, right? So I'll say, here's the niche, here's all the research, go out and you can start promoting this. People will do that, they'll make a lot of money, and I get secondary benefits from it as well. So those are some of the reasons why I do this. And that's why it's actually in my interest to make sure that people succeed.
Right, exactly. Let me ask you one question here.
Is this the last question?
I don't think so. Hold on.
Okay, then you should see, can I ask you a few more questions?
Okay, alright. Okay. So my last question is, can I ask 3 more questions, right?
Yes.
So this is obviously a pretty awesome course, and I do want to point out, you are going to give some exclusive bonus for the people that listen to this, and especially for the people on my list right now. Can you kind of point some of those out?
Yes, actually I will be giving very awesome bonuses. These bonuses that I'm going to be giving out for only your subscribers are so awesome that I want to buy the product from your link.
Oh.
So here's what it is.
Yeah.
First of all, we're not going to give you just one software. When you get the Pro option, you actually are going to get 2 more pieces of software with it, and we are basically going to call them link filters.
Okay.
And what that is you're going to use our main software to generate your link packet list. You're going to run that link packet through the link filter, and it's going to show you the best, the cream out of all of those links as well. So we're already finding the best ones out there. But on top of that, now it's going to figure out which one of these are going to be more long-term, which one of these have the highest traffic, which one of these are actually going to pass the most link views and the most authority, all of those awesome things. So it's also going to eliminate all the pages that somebody else might have already posted some links to, or might have malware on and stuff like that. So those link filters, you're going to get those 2 extra link filters with it. On top of that, let me make a special note of this. And then this one is actually a little more close to my heart. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, and you will be getting a list of 7 niches that I have been in, along with the demographic research on those niches. And these are niches that combined I have generated at least 6 figures in commissions from.
Oh, wow.
So these are specific niches. I'm going to give you the name of the niche. I'm going to describe the demographic. I'm going to describe what kind of offers do the best in that. And you will basically have access to them. You can use them and do whatever you would like with it. And that is also for your subscribers only. So you also get 7 niches that have generated.
And wait, here's some more.
Well, and I'm sure that after this interview is done, knowing Han, he's probably going to come after me and he's going to be like, can you give us something more? And so if there is something more, then you will know about it and you will have it available as well.
Yeah, and so for those who are still with us, we literally did over an hour now. Make sure you grab this tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am going to offer you guys some awesome bonus from my private collection as well, on top of what he's already giving you here. And I think, I can't promise you this, but I think I'm trying to squeeze more bonus out of it is here, but I'm just gonna leave that as a mystery bonus for now. I will have my full review on Sunday, which is the day after the launch, just because I'm not feeling very well right now, actually. But I know Hitesh has this awesome product. I do want to tell you about tonight, so you know about it. You can grab this at the lowest possible price, and plus plus, I want to give you this awesome bonus from him as well, and so all that great stuff. So, Hitesh, I think I have you have been tremendous, delivered tremendous value here today. Before we go here, do you have any final words of wisdom you'd like to share with us?
Well, I'm not a very wise guy, but I will try. I just wish for world peace, and no, I'm kidding. Well, really, my biggest suggestion to everyone, and this is from my own experience, is make sure that once you start doing this, if you start doing this, great. If you want to use something else that you know is proven and works, do that. But stick with it, and actually follow through on it, and actually apply it. Like I said, I started, and a month later it was shut down and lost that income. When I started doing the SEO stuff, I had a similar setback in that right in the beginning as well. But the biggest thing is you don't want to stop. This is the cheapest thing for you to do today. You don't have to go out and build an actual business. You don't have to buy your inventory or whatever. You can do it all online. It's awesome. It works really well. But make sure that you actually stick with it. It's not going to work itself. You still have to be the one who take your time to understand it and then start applying it. And if you have any questions at any time, make sure you make a list of all your questions. Make sure that you attend some of the webinar, or you at least get a hold of us and ask these questions from us. And we love helping people who actually are taking action. But if you're not taking action, then don't ask me the questions.
Yes, and I just want to kind of throw in my final words here is, I said over and over again, the secret to your success is speed of implementation. So do not buy this just to have it sit on your hard drive. Do take action on this. This is the how real marketers make money. So I personally think he's charging way below the market value here. But so grab it, as soon as you can. And also, if you do get it tomorrow, just my final notes, make sure you email me back your PayPal receipt, even though you won't get my immediate review tomorrow, but the day after, go ahead, send me back your email receipt so we can make sure you get the bonus that we were talking about here and some more as well. So Hitesh, thank you again, and for this awesome interview here. More like a webinar here, actually.
Yes, I know. We actually shared a lot more content than most people get from a course.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. And awesome. This is probably one of the best SEO interview I ever done with anyone in my career, being interviewing people. So thank you so much for that. And I am sure I should be talking to you and Robert pretty soon.
You're very kind. You're very kind, and I appreciate the interview. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.